Listen to me. This is your moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things will feel right. Right now, this is your time to rise up and claim what belongs to you. You've waited long enough. You've doubted long enough. You've made excuses long enough. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you fight for, what you grind for, what you refuse to quit on. Every second you waste doubting yourself, someone else is out there getting stronger, hungrier, sharper. And I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you because I believe in you. You've got something special. You've got something unique. But it won't mean anything if you don't step into your moment and own it. Stop waiting for the perfect condition. The perfect time doesn't exist. You make the moment perfect by showing up with everything you got. Your future is built on what you do right now. This is your season. You've cried long enough. You've failed long enough. But that pain was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you. That heartbreak, that rejection, that disappointment, it was preparation. Because now when you step on that stage, when you walk into that room, when you look in the mirror, you're not the same person you used to be. You're stronger. You're wiser. You're ready. So hear me. Don't just exist. Don't just survive. Live like this is your only shot. Because it is. You were created for greatness. You've got a purpose that no one else can fulfill. So rise up, wipe those tears, square your shoulders, and say it out loud. This is my moment. And when you say it, mean it. When you move, believe it. Because when the world sees someone who truly believes in their moment, it steps aside and lets them pass. Stop waiting and start acting. You've been sitting there thinking, planning, dreaming, hoping, telling yourself that one day you'll start, but one day you'll start. But one day isn't coming. One day doesn't exist. The only real time you have is right now, this very moment. Every minute you spend waiting for the perfect time is a minute you're losing to fear, to hesitation, to doubt. You say you're waiting for the right opportunity. But the truth is, opportunities are built, not given. You create them by acting, by stepping out, by moving, even when you don't feel ready. The greatest lie we tell ourselves is that we'll start when things calm down, when we have more time, when the situation feels right. But listen to me, there is never going to be a perfect time. The stars will never line up perfectly. The conditions will never all favor you. Life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It moves on with or without you. The people who win, who rise, who build something meaningful are not the ones who have everything figured out. They're the ones who had the courage to begin before they were ready. Stop hiding behind preparation. Stop calling your fear planning. You spend months, maybe years, getting ready, organizing, researching, trying to make everything perfect before you take that first step. But perfection is a trap. You keep thinking you're improving your plan, but what you're really doing is delaying your destiny. You don't need more time. You need more courage. You don't need another opinion. You need to believe in yourself enough to start moving forward. When you start, you're going to be afraid. You'll feel uncertain. That's natural. Every great person you admire started from that same place. They were scared too. They didn't know if it would work. They didn't know if people would support them, believe in them or laugh at them. But they moved anyway. They acted. They stepped out of the comfort zone that was keeping them trapped. And that one act of courage changed everything. You can't let fear hold the pen that writes your story. Fear will keep you comfortable, but comfort will kill your dreams. You've got to move even when your legs shake, even when your voice trembles. Because every step you take in fear is still progress. Every action, no matter how small, pushes you closer to your purpose. And once you start, momentum takes over. Action breeds confidence, motion builds clarity. You'll never figure everything out from the sidelines. You learn the game by getting in it. You gotta understand. Nothing changes until you move. You can pray all you want. You can dream all you want. You can talk all you want, but until you take that first step, everything stays the same. Action is what turns a dream into a reality. Action is what transforms potential into power. People don't remember what you planned to do. They remember what you actually did. You say you're waiting for a sign. Well, this is it. The sign you've been asking for is already in front of you. You woke up today. You're breathing. You've got life. That's your sign. You've been blessed with another day, another chance to move closer to your goals. Don't waste it by standing still. Don't waste it by scrolling through other people's success, comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. The reason they're ahead is because they acted when you hesitated. While you were doubting, they were doing. While you were preparing, they were performing. And now you're watching them live the life you want, wondering why it isn't happening for you. It's not luck. It's not luck. It's not fate. It's action. You've got to get uncomfortable with waiting. You've got to get sick of inaction. You've got to reach a point where doing nothing hurts more than failing, because failure isn't final. Inaction is. You can recover from failure. You can recover from failure. You can learn from mistakes, but you can't fix what never started. Every day you delay, the dream fades a little more. Every time you tell yourself for tomorrow, you're building a habit of postponing your own greatness. You think waiting will make it easier. It won't. Time doesn't give you confidence, effort does. Every time you act, even if you stumble, you grow. You get stronger, you get wiser, you gain experience. That's how progress works, not by thinking about it, but by doing it. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And the longer you wait to cross it, the further your dream drifts away. You've got to stop worrying about what people will think. Some people will never understand your vision, and that's okay. It wasn't given to them, it was given to you. Don't expect everyone to see what you see. Don't wait for approval. Don't wait for applause. Move in silence if you have to. Because once your results show, the noise will follow. But you can't live your life trying to please people who aren't even chasing their own goals. Your dream doesn't need permission. It needs action. I'm telling you, you don't have time to wait. Life moves fast. Time is not your friend. Every second is slipping away, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. You don't want to look back years from now wishing you had started sooner. Regret hits harder than failure ever will. So don't wait until you're older, richer, smarter, or more ready. The time is now. The power is now. The opportunity is now. You got to stop saying I'll stop when things get better. Listen, things don't get better until you get better. Your situation changes when your mindset changes. When you decide that enough is enough. When you stop complaining and start creating. When you stop waiting for the door to open and kick it down yourself. The universe responds to movement. When you move with faith, with focus, with persistence, the world starts moving with you. Doors open, paths appear, people show up, but only after you act. Don't underestimate the power of one small step. You don't have to climb the whole mountain today. Just start walking. Make the call. Write the plan. Take the class. Post the content. Send the email. Whatever your dream is, start feeding with consistent action, even if you're scared. Even if it's messy. Even if it's slow, because a slow start is better than no start. You can improve along the way, but you can't improve what doesn't exist. When you take that first step, everything inside you will start to shift. You'll begin to feel alive again. Because deep down, your soul knows it was made for more. It knows it wasn't designed to live in fear or hesitation. You were created to move, to build, to grow. That's why you feel uneasy when you're not pursuing your purpose. That's your spirit trying to remind you that you're wasting your gift. Don't silence that voice anymore. Honor it. You owe it to yourself to see what happens if you stop waiting. You owe it to yourself to find out how far you can go if you just start. Because the truth is, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand you your dream on a silver platter. You got to get up, get focused, and make it happen. You got to take control of your life and move. Like your dreams depend on it, because they do. This is your time, right now, not next week, not when you feel more confident, not when it's convenient, right now. Don't wait until the pain of regret is heavier than the fear of failure. Don't wait until you wasted your potential. Move while you still have energy, passion, and vision. The world needs what you have to offer. Somebody out there is waiting for your gift, your story, your strength, if you don't start. So stop waiting and start acting. Stop wishing and start working. Stop doubting and start doing. You don't need permission and you don't need perfection. You just need to move. Because the second you do, you shift from dreamer to doer, from spectator to creator, from hoping to having. And once you taste that progress, you'll never want to stop again. This is your moment to act. Don't let fear steal it. Don't let time take it. Don't let excuses bury it. Start where you are, with what you have, and give it everything you got. When you do, life starts moving in your favor. Doors you never imagined start opening. Opportunities begin to align, momentum builds. And before you know it, that small step you took will have changed your entire life. It all starts with one choice. Stop waiting and to start acting today. Own your struggles. Every scar, every setback, every sleepless night, it all means something. You can't run from your pain and expect to find purpose. You can't hide from your failures and expect to discover strength. The truth is, every single challenge you faced was designed to shape you, not to destroy you. Life wasn't trying to break you. It was trying to prepare you. But most people never see that. They spend their lives resenting their pain instead of respecting it. They look at their past and see a burden, when in reality it's the blueprint of their becoming. You have to stop seeing your struggles as curses and start seeing them as courses. Lessons that life enrolled you in so you can learn what strength really means. The things you went through weren't punishment, they were preparation. The pain you felt was molding you into the kind of person who could handle the life you're asking for. You say you wanted greatness. Well, greatness comes with growth, and growth comes through struggle. You can't pray for a strong life and then reject the process that makes you strong. When you go through hard times, it's easy to ask a why me? It's easy to feel like the world is against you, like everyone else has it easier. Listen, every person you admire, every success story you've ever heard, every champion who ever rose to the top, they all went through something. They all had moments when they wanted to quit, when the pain felt unbearable, when the road seemed endless, but they didn't stop. They owned their struggles. They embraced the lessons inside their suffering, and that's what made them unstoppable. You have to stop running from the fire, walking through it. Because fire doesn't just burn, it purifies. It reveals what's real, what's strong, what's unbreakable inside you. When everything else is stripped away, you'll see what truly matters. You'll find the strength that was buried beneath your fear, the resilience that was hidden under your doubt. But you only discover that power when you face your pain head on, when you stop asking for an easier path and start asking for the strength to handle the one you're on. You see, your struggle is your story. It's your testimony. It's what gives you depth, character, and authenticity. People can't connect with perfection. They connect with pain. They don't get inspired by someone who's never fallen. They're moved by someone who's fallen 100 times and still gets back up. When you own your struggles, you give others permission to own theirs too. You become a light, a living reminder that it's possible to rise even when the world tries to keep you down. Stop apologizing for your past. Stop being ashamed of what you've been through. Those moments that broke you, they also built you. They taught you things success never could. You learned patience in the waiting, strength in the breaking, and faith in the falling. You learned that sometimes losing everything was the only way to find yourself. Every tear watered a seed of resilience that's now growing inside you. You owing. But you'll never see that growth if you keep hiding from your story. You have to own every chapter, even the dark ones. Because those dark chapters hold your greatest wisdom. You can't heal what you won't face. You can't transform what you refuse to acknowledge. So stop pretending that everything's fine. Stop trying to skip the hard parts. They're part of your journey, part of your evolution. The more you try to erase your pain, the less you understand your power. Your scars are not signs of weakness. They're symbols of survival. They prove that you've endured, that you've overcome, that you're standing. You've got to change the way you see your struggle. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this teaching me? Every challenge carries a lesson. Every disappointment carries direction. Every failure carries feedback. You might not understand it while you're in it, but when you look back, you'll see that every piece of pain had a purpose. You'll see how every closed door redirected you towards something better. You'll see how the moments that felt like endings were really beginnings in disguise. Don't curse the process just because it's painful. The struggle is proof that you're growing. Pressure creates diamond. Fire refines gold. Pain shapes purpose. The reason it hurts is because it's transforming you. Growth has never been comfortable. It stretches you. It forces you to let go of old habits, old beliefs, old identities. It strips away what no longer serves you so you can become who you're meant to be. That's why you can't fight. You can't fight your struggles. You have to flow through them. You have to trust that even the hardest parts are working for your good. Sometimes life will break you just to rebuild you better. You'll lose people you thought would stay. You'll fail at things you thought you were ready for. You'll face situations that shake your faith to the core. But that's when you discover your real power. You realize that your work doesn't come from your wins. It comes from your will to keep going. Everything's falling apart. You realize that strength isn't about avoiding pain. It's about standing firm in the middle of it. That's the moment you stop being a victim of your story and start being the author of it. You got to learn to thank your struggles. Thank them for the wisdom they gave you, for the growth they forced out of you, for the faith they built inside you. Because without them, you wouldn't be who you are today. Without that pain, you wouldn't have the compassion, the hunger, the depth you have now. Your struggle gave you empathy. It made you see the world differently. It taught you to appreciate the small wins, to value the little things, to never take peace for granted. That's priceless. There's a certain beauty and brokenness when you learn how to rebuild with purpose. You start to see that every setback was setting you up for something greater. You start to realize that your past pain is now your present power. The same things that once made you cry are now the things that make you wise. That heartbreak that crushed you taught you how to love yourself. That failure that embarrassed you taught you how to stand tall again. That loss that shattered you taught you what really matters. You have to stop waiting for your life to be perfect before you accept yourself. Own your flaws. Own your mistakes. Own your journey. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. Nobody does. You're not supposed to be unbreakable. You're supposed to be real. Strength isn't about being invincible. It's about being transparent enough to admit your pain, but resilient enough to not let it stop you. That's what it means to own your struggle. There will be people who judge you for your past. Let them. There will be people who don't understand what you've been through. That's okay. They weren't supposed to. You don't need validation for your pain. You don't need permission to grow from it. The only person who needs to accept your journey is you. The moment you embrace your whole story, the highs and the lows, you step into freedom. You stop pretending. You stop hiding. You start living authentically. Your struggle gave you a perspective that others don't have. You see the world differently now. You know what it means to start from nothing. You know how it feels to fail and rise again. You know the value of persistence, the cost of success, and the weight of resilience. That wisdom is priceless. You earned it, so don't bury it. Don't let the pain that taught you so much go to waste. Use it, speak from it, build from it, inspire from it. Every time you push through pain, you set an example for someone else. Someone out there is watching you, needing hope, needing proof that they can survive what they're going through. You might not realize it, but your endurance is someone else's encouragement. Your survival story is someone else's lifeline. So don't hide your scars. Show them. They're not symbols of defeat. They're evidence of victory. Owning your struggle means standing tall even when your knees are shaky. It means looking at your past and saying, yes, that happened, but it did. It means using your pain as fuel instead of a chain. It means finding power in what tried to break you. Because once you own your struggles, they can no longer own you. So the next time life hits you hard, remember, you've been here before. You've been counted out before. You faced darkness before, and you're still standing. You survived 100% of your worst days. That means you're undefeated. That means you're undefeated. That means you're stronger than you think. And that means no struggle, no storm, no setback can stop you unless you let it. Own your struggles. Don't just go through them. Grow through them. Let your pain push you toward purpose. Let your scars remind you of your strength. Because everything you face, everything you've endured has been preparing you for this exact moment. You didn't go through all that just to quit now. You went through it so that when your time came, you'd be ready, and that time is now. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can control how you respond. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how hard you try to plan it, something will always happen that throws you off course. You can't stop storms from coming, but you can decide whether you'll let them destroy you or develop you. That's the difference between people who rise and people who fall. Not what happens to them, but how they react when it happens. Your mindset is the steering wheel of your life. It determines the direction you go. You can have all the talent, all the resources, all the opportunities in the world, but if your mindset isn't right, none of it will matter. Everything begins in your mind. The way you see the world shapes the way you experience it. Two people can go through the same situation. One gives up and the other grows stronger. The difference isn't in the situation, it's in the perception. When you have a mindset rooted in resilience, you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what can I learn from this? You stop seeing problems as punishments and start seeing them as preparation. That's how you turn obstacles into opportunity. You got to train your mind the way an athlete trains their body. Every day you have to condition your thoughts because the world is constantly testing you. Things will happen that make you doubt yourself, that challenge your peace, that tempt you to quit. But if your mindset is strong, you won't break. You'll bend, but you won't snap. You'll feel the pressure, but you'll keep moving forward. You'll know that your circumstances don't define you. Your attitude does. It's not what happens that breaks people. It's the meaning they attach to it. When you go through pain and tell yourself it's the end, it becomes the end. But when you go through pain and tell yourself it's growth, it becomes growth. Your mind has that much power. Every thought you think either builds you or breaks you. If you keep telling yourself that life's unfair, that you're unlucky, that you'll never make it, your mind believes it, and your life follows that pattern. But the moment you shift your thoughts, everything begins to change. You can't control the economy. You can't control the economy. You can't control other people's action. You can't control the weather, your boss, or the past. But you can control how you respond, how you show up, how you think. You can decide to stay calm when things get chaotic. You can decide to stay hopeful when everything seems hopeless. You can decide to keep pushing when your body screams to stop. That's the power of mindset. It gives you control in a world where so much is uncontrollable. When something goes wrong, most people panic. They let their emotions take over. But the ones who succeed are the ones who pause, breathe, and choose to respond, not react. They don't let their feelings dictate their future. They take control of their thoughts before their thoughts control them. You gotta learn to do the same. Don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. Don't let frustration make you forget your purpose. Every time something challenges you, that's your chance to prove that you've grown. You can't let your environment shape your energy. You've got to be the kind of person who brings light into the dark, not the one who becomes dark because of it. The world will try to break you through disappointment, rejection, criticism, and failure. But when your mindset is right, those things don't destroy you. They build your focus. They sharpen your character. They remind you who you really are. Because your power doesn't come from what happens to you. It comes from what happens within you. A powerful mindset turns adversity into advantage. When you lose, you learn. When you fall, you rise wiser. When you're rejected, you're redirected. That's how you start to see life differently. You realize that everything is happening for you, not to you. That every struggle carries a seed of strength, every mistake carries a lesson, and every delay carries divine timing. When you truly believe that, peace becomes your weapon. You stop fighting reality and stop flowing with purpose. You have to feed your mind with faith, not fear. Not fear. You can't expect to stay positive if all you consume is negativity. If you constantly talk about your problems, you'll stay stuck in them. But if you start talking about possibilities, your energy shifts. Start each day with gratitude. Focus on what's right instead of what's wrong. Celebrate small wins instead of magnifying small setbacks. Mindset isn't something you have. It's something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice. The strongest people you know aren't the ones who've had an easy life. They're the ones who've gone through storms, but refuse to let the storm live inside them. They faced betrayal, failure, loss, but they didn't let those things define their identity. They decided to see every hardship as training for something greater. They took control of their narrative. That's what you have to do too. You can't always choose your path, but you can choose your perspective. And perspective changes everything. Life will test your mindset again and again. There will be days when nothing goes your way. Days when people you trusted disappoint you. Days when it feels like all your effort is in vain. But in those moments, your response determines your results. You can either sink in self-pity or rise in self-discipline. You can either see it as a dead end or a detour. You can either let it break your spirit or build your character. Every setback gives you that choice. Choose wisely. You have to learn to find calm in chaos. The world isn't going to slow down for you. Problems aren't going to disappear, but you can decide not to let them shake your inner peace. You can walk through storms with your head high because you know who you are and where you're going. A strong mindset doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means facing it with faith. It means saying, yes, this is hard, but I'm harder. Yes, this hurts, but I'll heal. Yes, I fail, but I'll rise. That's power. That's control. That's what separates the average from the exceptional. You can't let your past define your present. Whatever happened, happened. You can't change it, but you can choose what it means to you. You can let it limit you, or you can let it lead you. You can use it as an excuse, or you can use it as energy. The choice is always yours. The moment you take responsibility for your mindset, you take back control of your life. You stop blaming. You stop blaming for things to change and start changing yourself, start changing yourself. When you face a setback, remind yourself that your response is your power. You don't have to react with anger, fear, or despair. You can respond with calm, courage, and clarity. You can use your energy to grow instead of wasting on worry. Every time you choose peace over panic, discipline over doubt, and faith over fear, you strengthen your mental muscle. And that muscle will carry you further than any motivation ever could. There's a reason the word of mindset has the word Satan in it. Because you have to set your mind on something and keep it there no matter what happens. When you set your mind on growth, no obstacle can stop you. When you set your mind on faith, no fear can control you. When you set your mind on purpose, no pain can break you. You become unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Everything starts with a thought. Change your thoughts, and you change your life. You can't plant negative seed and expect positive fruit. If your mind is filled with doubt, you'll see reasons to quit. If it's filled with belief, you'll see opportunities to grow. Your reality is simply your thoughts turned tangible. So start guarding your mind the way you guard your goals. Don't let negativity rent space in your head. Fill it with vision, with focus, with gratitude. There will always be things you can't control, but your reaction will always be one of them. You can't stop storms, but you can build shelter. You can't stop people from talking about you, but you can stop giving them power. You can't stop failure, but you can stop quitting. That's what mindset gives you, freedom. It's not freedom from pain, but freedom within it. Freedom to choose your response. Freedom to stay centered when the world shakes. Freedom to stay grateful even when life feels unfair. So when life throws chaos your way, remember, your peace is your power. When everything around you is falling apart, stay grounded. When people doubt you, keep believing. When progress is slow, stay consistent. You might not be able to control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. That's what winners do. That's what warriors do. They adapt, they adjust, they respond with purpose. No one gets through life without pain, but the ones who make it are the ones who refuse to let pain control them. They turn pressure into performance, loss into learning, chaos into clarity. You have that same power. It's inside you right now, waiting for you to use it. You don't need a perfect life. You need a powerful mind. Because when your mindset is right, everything else falls into place. So take control of what you can. Your thoughts, your focus, your response. Let go of what you can't, the past, the people, the outcome. And when life tests you, stand tall and say, I might not control the storm, but I control my sail. Because once you truly understand that truth, you become unstoppable. Hunger beats talent. You can have all the talent in the world, all the gifts, all the potential. But if you don't have hunger, real, deep, relentless hunger, it won't mean a thing. Talent might open the door, but hunger is what keeps you in the room. It's what makes you wake up early when you don't feel like it. Hunger is what keeps you grinding long after the excitement is gone. Hunger is what separates the good from the great, the average from the unstoppable. You can't fake it and you can't teach it. It's something that burns inside you, something that refuses to let you settle for less than what you know you're capable of. There are people out there who are more talented than you. They're smarter, stronger, more connected. But that doesn't matter. Because talent without hunger is wasted. The graveyard is full of talented people who never did anything with their gift. They waited for the right time. They waited for motivation. They waited for someone to recognize them. But the hungry ones didn't wait. They went after it. They didn't need permission. They didn't need applause. They were too busy working while everyone else was talking. When you're hungry, you don't make excuses. You don't complain about how hard it is. You don't talk about how unfair life is. You just grind. You find a way. You push through the pain. You sacrifice comfort for growth because hunger gives you energy that talent can't. It gives you focus when things get tough. It makes you get up after every failure, rejection, after every setback. Hunger whispers, try again. It screams, we're not done yet. Talent fades when it's not fueled by hunger. You can be skilled today and forgotten tomorrow if you don't keep evolving. The hungry never stop improving. They know that what got them here won't get them there. They know that comfort is the enemy of greatness. So they keep learning, keep pushing, keep stretching. They don't settle just because they've achieved something. They treat every win like it's just the beginning. That's what hunger does. It keeps you chasing more, not out of greed, but out of purpose. You got to want it more than you want to breathe. That's what Eric Thomas said, and he meant it. You can't just kind of want success. You have to be obsessed with it. You have to want it so bad that you'll sacrifice sleep, sacrifice comfort, sacrifice distractions. You have to want it so bad that quitting isn't an option. Because when you're hungry, quitting feels worse than failure. When you're hungry, you'd rather die trying than live wondering a what if. The problem is, most people lose their hunger. Life makes them comfortable. They get a little success, a little recognition, and they start to relax. They stop doing what got them there. They stop putting in the work. They think they've made it. But the moment you lose hunger, you lose momentum. The moment you get comfortable, someone hungrier than you is coming to take your spot. Hunger keeps you sharp. It keeps you focused. It keeps you grateful. Because hungry people never forget where they came from. They remember the struggle, the late nights, the doubt, the grind. That memory becomes their fire. You have to feed your hunger every single day. You have to remind yourself why you started. You have to look at your goals and feel something inside you move. You have to remember the times you were overlooked, doubted, underestimated. Let that fuel you. Let it drive you. Because hunger doesn't just come from wanting more. It comes from remembering what it felt like to have less. When you've tasted struggle, you appreciate progress. When you've seen darkness, you chase light with everything you got. Hunger changes the way you move. It changes the way you talk, the way you think, the way you work. When you're hungry, you stop caring about what people think. You stop seeking validation. You stop comparing your journey to others. You're too focused on the mission. You're too focused on the next step. Hunger turns discipline into instinct. You don't need motivation because your purpose fuels you. You wake up with it, you live with it, you breathe it, you breathe it, you breathe it. There's a reason most people never reach their full potential. It's not because they lack ability. It's because they lack intensity. They have dreams, but not drive. They have goals, but no grit. They want success, but only if it's convenient. Hunger doesn't work like that. Hunger doesn't care about convenience. Hunger means doing it tired, doing it scared, doing it when nobody's watching. Hunger means showing up again and again until the job's done. Hunger is louder than fear. Fear tells you you can't. Hunger answers, oh, watch me. Fear says, you failed. Hunger says, I'll learn. Fear says, it's too late. Hunger says, it's my time. That's why hungry people win. They don't listen to the noise. They don't need validation to keep going. They're driven by something deeper, something personal, something painful, something powerful. Their hunger comes from a place of purpose. You've got to ask yourself, how bad do I want it? Because if you kind of want it, you'll kind of work for it. But if you really want it, you'll do whatever it takes. You'll find a way when there's no way. You'll turn rejection into motivation. You'll turn pain into power. You'll make sacrifices others won't make because you see something they can't see. Hunger gives you vision when everyone else sees obstacles. You can't fake hunger. You can't pretend to want it. It shows in how you move, how you prepare, how you grind when no one's watching. Hunger is visible in your habits. It's seen in how you use your time, how you handle failure, how you respond to challenges. You can talk all you want about what you're going to do, but your hunger will reveal itself in your actions. Because hungry people don't just talk. They execute. There are going to be days when you don't feel it, when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when everything seems to be falling apart. But that's when hunger shows its real power. Hunger doesn't rely on emotion. It relies on commitment. Hunger says, even if I don't feel like it, I'm still going to do it. Hunger says, I'm tired, but I'm not done. Hunger says, I'm hurt, but I'm still here. That's the difference between people who dream and people who achieve. The achievers keep going long after the dreamers stop. Talent will get you started, but hunger keeps you going. Talent gives you ability, but hunger gives you endurance. Talent can make you known, but hunger makes you legendary. The truth is, talent fades if it's not backed by work, but hunger grows. The more you feed it, the stronger it becomes. The more you challenge yourself, the more unstoppable you get. When you look at the greats, the champions, the innovators, the leaders, they all had one thing in common: hunger. They weren't the smartest, they weren't the luckiest, but they were the hungriest. They had something inside them that wouldn't let them quit. They worked through the pain, through the rejection, through the loneliness. They were obsessed with getting better. They weren't chasing money or fame, they were chasing purpose. They wanted to prove something to themselves, to the world, to the voice inside that said they could. That's what hunger does. It turns pain into purpose, rejection into resilience, struggle into strength. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you start hungry and stay hungry. Because when you have hunger, you stop making excuses and start making progress. You stop waiting for opportunities and start creating them. You stop being limited by what you don't have and start maximizing what you do have. There's something powerful about a person who's hungry. They don't need much. They just need a chance. Give them a crack in the door and they'll break it open. Tell them a no and they'll find another way. Tell them they can and they'll show you they can. That's the fire you need to carry inside you every single day. Because no one is going to hand you your dream. You got to want it so bad that you're willing to go through anything for it. You might not have the resources, but you can outwork everyone who does. You might not have the experience, but you can outlearn everyone in the room. You might not have the connections, but you can outlast every quitter who gives up halfway. Hunger levels the playing field. It's the great equalizer. Because talent can get tired, but hunger doesn't. Hunger keeps fighting long after talent clocks out. So don't worry about being the most gifted. Worry about being the most driven. Don't chase comfort. Chase growth. Don't aim to be good. Aim to be relentless. Because when you're hungry, no obstacle can stop you, no failure can break you, and no limit can contain you. The world respects hustle. It bows to consistency. It rewards those who refuse to give up. So stay hungry. Feed your fire every single day. Remember your why. Remember where you came from. Remember the pain that made you. Let it fuel you. Let it drive you. Let it drive you. Nothing left in you but purpose. Because the moment you lose hunger, you lose your edge. But as long as that fire burns inside you, as long as you keep that hunger alive, there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that can stop you. Every moment you waste doubting yourself is a moment you could be building yourself. Every second you spend questioning your worth is a second you could be proving it. The truth is, self-doubt is the silent killer of dreams. It's not the obstacles in your path that stop you. It's the voice in your head that whispers you can't overcome. It's the fear that you're not good enough, smart enough, strong enough. But let me tell you something, you have always been. The problem is you've been too busy listening to the world instead of listening to yourself. We live in a world that constantly tells us who we should be, how we should act, and what we should want. From the moment we're born, people start putting labels on us. You're not smart enough for that. Ooh, you're not cut out for this. People like you don't make it there. And over time, those voices start to sink in. You start to believe them. You start to shrink yourself to fit into the expectations of others. You start to settle because you think greatness is meant for someone else. But deep down, there's still a voice, small but powerful, that keeps saying, you were made for more. That voice is your truth. That voice is your purpose, trying to break free from the cage of doubt. And the only way to silence that doubt is to act. Confidence doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. You can't think your way into belief. You have to work your way into it. Every step you take toward your dream, no matter how small, chips away at the doubt. Every time you show up, even when you're scared, you prove to yourself that fear doesn't control you. Every time you keep going after failing, you build strength that no one can take from you. Self-doubt thrives in stillness. It feeds on inaction. The longer you wait, the louder it gets. That's why you can't wait until you feel ready, because you never will. No one feels ready when they start. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't readiness. It's courage to take the first step. Courage to believe that progress matters more than perfection. Courage to fall and rise again, because falling doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. Staying down makes you broken. Getting up makes you unstoppable. You have to stop measuring yourself by the world standard. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Stop thinking you're behind just because someone else got there first. Everyone's path is different. Everyone's timing is different. What's meant for you will not miss you, but you have to be willing to walk your own path, even when it's lonely, especially when it's lonely. Because that's where real growth happens. Not in comfort, not in applause, but in solitude, when it's just you and your purpose staring each other down. The truth is, no one is born confident. No one wakes up every day without fear. Even the most successful people you admire, they doubt themselves sometimes too. The only difference is they don't let that doubt define them. They use it. They let it remind them they're alive, that they're pushing boundaries, that they're doing something that matters. Doubt means you care. It means you're trying something new. It means you're growing. But you can't let it stop you. You can't let it paralyze you. You have to turn that doubt into drive. Think about it. How many dreams have died because someone was too scared to start? How many people settle for ordinary because they didn't believe they could be extraordinary? The world is full of people with talent, ideas, and passion who never took the leap because they were waiting for permission. But you don't need permission to live your dream. You don't need approval to chase your calling. You don't need validation to be valuable. You already have everything you need. You just need to believe it long enough to act on it. Every great person you know today started as a beginner. They didn't have it all figured out. They stumbled, failed, and questioned themselves too. But they kept going. They kept showing up when no one believed in them. They learned through struggle, not success. Because success is just a reward for those who were brave enough to keep failing forward. That's what you need to understand. You don't need to have it all together to begin. You just need to begin. When that voice of doubt comes, and it will, don't fight it with fear. Fight it with evidence. Remind yourself of everything you've already overcome. Remember the times you thought you wouldn't make it, but you did. Remember the pain you thought would break you, but it didn't. You're still here. You survived 100% of your hardest days. That's not weakness, that's proof of strength. You're not starting from nothing. You're starting from experience. Every scar, every failure, every heartbreak, it's all shaping you into the person who can handle what you're asking for. You see, doubt wants to keep you safe. It's your mind's way of protecting you from pain, embarrassment, or disappointment. But truth is, staying safe is the most dangerous thing you can do. Safety is a slow death for the dreamer. You might avoid failure, but you also avoid fulfillment. You might avoid pain, but you also avoid purpose. You can't grow without risk. You can't rise without falling. You can't find yourself without losing comfort. So stop letting doubt drive your life. It's okay to feel fear. Feel it move anyway. It's okay to feel uncertain. Keep walking anyway. It's okay to question yourself, but don't let that questioning stop your progress. The people who change the world aren't the ones who never doubt. They're the ones who move despite it. They're the ones who say, I may not be ready, but I'm willing. And willingness beats readiness every single time. You have to learn to talk to yourself differently. Every day your mind will give you reasons to stop. Reasons you're not good enough. Reasons it's not the right time. Reasons you might fail. But you have to answer back with truth. Tell yourself, I am capable. I am worthy. I am enough. Because if you don't control your thoughts, will control you. What you tell yourself daily becomes your reality. If you speak doubts, you'll live small. If you speak belief, you'll rise tall. You gotta believe in yourself when no one else does. You gotta be your own motivation when the world goes silent. You gotta be your own coach, your own cheerleader, your own support system. Because there will be times when no one understands your vision, when people question your choices, when you feel completely alone. That's when self-belief matters most. That's when you have to remind yourself that your dream wasn't given to them, it was given to you. When you finally start believing in yourself, something magical happens. Opportunities start appearing where there used to be obstacles. People start seeing what you saw all along. Your energy changes, your confidence grows, and suddenly you're no longer chasing your purpose. You're living it. That's not luck. That's what happens when self-doubt loses its power over you. But remember, self-belief isn't a one-time thing. It's a daily battle. You'll have good days when you feel unstoppable, and you'll have bad days when you feel like giving up. That's normal. The key is to keep choosing belief, even when it's hard. Keep choosing progress, even when it's slow. Keep choosing faith, even when fear feels louder. Because every time you choose belief, you strengthen it. And one day you'll look back and realize that the person who doubted themselves is gone, replaced by someone who finally sees their worth. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop waiting and feel confident. Stop waiting for someone to tell you that you're ready. You're already ready. You're already enough. You already had what it takes to make your dream happen. You just had to decide that doubt won't be the one holding the pen anymore. You're the author of your story. Write it with courage, not fear. Write it with action, not hesitation. Write it with faith, not doubt. Because this moment, right now, it's yours. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when I'm ready. Now, this is your moment to break the cycle of doubt. This is your moment to take the leap. This is your moment to prove to yourself that the only limits that ever existed were the ones you believed in. So rise up, step forward, believe again. You've doubted yourself long enough. Now it's time to see what happens when you finally believe. Success isn't built in comfort. It's forged in struggle. Every person who has ever achieved something remarkable has walked through seasons of pain, rejection, and failure. But here's the truth that most people run from. The struggle's not your enemy. The struggle is your teacher. It's the thing that shapes you into someone who can handle the success you're praying for. Without the struggle, you wouldn't develop the strength, patience, and perspective required to sustain what you want. People say they want greatness, but few are willing to go through what greatness demands. They want the reward without the resistance, the elevation without the endurance. But life doesn't work that way. You don't grow when things are easy. You grow when things get hard. The struggle reveals who you really are. When everything's going right, anyone can smile. Anyone can stay motivated. But when everything starts falling apart, when your plans fail, when people walk away, when the world stops clapping, that's when your true character is revealed. That's when you find out if you really want it. The struggle strips away the mask. It exposes the excuses, the doubts, the fears. It forces you to choose between quitting and becoming stronger. And that choice, that moment, is where champions are born. When life hits you, it's not trying to destroy you. It's trying to develop you. Every setback carries a lesson. Every disappointment carries direction. But most people miss it because they're too focused on the pain to see the purpose. They ask, why me? When they should be asking, what is this teaching me? If you change that question, you change your entire perspective. You start realizing that struggle isn't punishment, it's preparation. You stop seeing it as a wall and start seeing it as a workout. Because the struggle is training you. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, for the life you asked for. When you go to the gym, you lift weights to build muscle. That resistance, that pressure is what makes you stronger. Life works the same way. Struggle is your resistance training. It's life's way of building your endurance. Every challenge you face is like adding another plate to the barbell. It's hard, it burns, it hurts, but it's growing you. And just like in the gym, if you stop when it gets uncomfortable, you never grow. If you quit every time it hurts, you'll stay weak. The people who transform are the ones who push through the pain, who keep going even when it feels unbearable. Because they understand that the pain they feel today will become their power tomorrow. You can't ask for strength and then run from struggle. You can't ask for wisdom and then avoid failure. You can't pray for growth and then get angry when life stretches you. That's not how it works. Growth requires discomfort. Transformation requires pain. Every great thing you admire in others, their confidence, their resilience, their success, it was born in struggle. They didn't wake up like that. They went through storms that would have broken most people, but they didn't give up. They learned how to keep moving in the rain, how to dance in the dark, how to find peace in chaos. That's the beauty of struggle. It teaches you not just how to survive, but how to thrive. You see, struggle gives you appreciation. When you've been through hard times, you value every little victory. You don't take blessings for granted because you remember what it was like to have nothing. You don't waste opportunities because you know how hard it was to get them. Struggle humbles you, grounds you, and gives you gratitude. It makes you respect the process. Reminds you that nothing great comes easy. And that's what makes it great. If it were easy, everyone would have it. But it's the difficulty that gives it meaning. There's something powerful about the person who's been through pain and still stands tall. The person who's been knocked down 10 times and got up 11. The person who's been broken but refused to stay shattered. That's real strength. That's what the struggle gives you, an unshakable mindset. When you've been through enough storms, you stop fearing the rain. When you survived enough pain, you stop doubting your ability to rise. Struggle teaches you that you're tougher than you think, stronger than you realize, and capable of far more than you ever imagined. Every struggle is temporary, but the strength it gives you lasts forever. The problem is that most people quit in the middle. They give up right before the breakthrough. They stop digging when they're inches from gold. Because in the middle of struggle, it's hard to see the end. It's hard to believe that the pain will lead to purpose. But that's exactly when you have to hold on tighter. That's when you have to remind yourself why you started. Because the moment you choose to endure instead of escape, that's the moment you stop becoming the person you were meant to be. Sometimes struggle isolates you. It makes you feel like no one understands, like no one sees how hard you're fighting. But isolation isn't punishment, it's refinement. When life pulls you away from distractions, from noise, from comfort, it's creating space for clarity. It's making room for you to hear your own voice again. You start discovering who you are when everything else is stripped away. You realize that you don't need validation. You don't need approval. You don't need anyone to save you. You just need belief, discipline, and faith. Struggle also gives you empathy. When you've been through pain, you understand pain. You start seeing people differently. You stop judging so quickly because you know what it's like to fight silent battle. You start helping others through their storms because you know how dark it can get. That's another gift of struggle. It softens your heart even as it strengthens your spirit. It teaches you that true greatness isn't just about rising. It's about lifting others as you rise. If you look at any story of success, you'll see the struggle behind it. Athletes who trained while everyone else slept. Entrepreneurs who failed 100 times before they succeeded once. Artists who were rejected, mocked, ignored, until their persistence made them undeniable. The struggle was their foundation. It gave them grit. It taught them patience. It forced them to earn everything they had. And because of that, they appreciate it more deeply than someone who had it handed to them. You have to understand that your struggle is your story. One day, the very thing that's breaking you will become the thing that builds you. The pain that feels unbearable will become the testimony that inspires others. The mountain you're climbing will become your message. That's why you can't quit in the middle. Because the middle is messy, but it's also meaningful. It's where you're being molded. The struggle you're in right now is preparing you for a stage you can't see yet. You're not losing, you're learning. You're not stuck, you're being shaped. You have to learn to trust the process even when it doesn't make sense. You have to believe that what's happening to you is actually happening for you. That doesn't mean it's easy, it means it's necessary. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold is purified by fire. Seeds grow in the dirt. You can't expect to shine without going through something. That's how life works. You can't skip the struggle and still expect to carry the strength that comes from it. There will be days when it feels unbearable, when you want to give up, when you question if it's worth it. But those are the days that define you. Those are the moments that test your spirit. You have to remind yourself that pain is temporary, but quitting lasts forever. Quitting lasts forever. The moment you push through that pain, the moment you refuse to stop, you discover a new version of yourself. Stronger, wiser, more resilient. That version of you doesn't come easy. You earn it through every struggle you survive. And when you finally reach the other side, you'll look back and realize that every setback was a setup. Every closed door redirected you to something better. Every delay prepared you for what was coming. You'll see that the struggle didn't break you. It built you. It gave you everything you needed to handle what's next. That's why you can't curse the struggle. You have to thank it. Because without it, you wouldn't be who you are. So don't run from the hard days. Don't hide from the pain. Face it, embrace it, and let it shape you. Every moment you endure is a moment that strengthens your foundation. Every tear you shed is watering the seeds of your future. Every challenge you face is preparing you for your moment to rise. Struggle isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your strength. You might not see it now, but one day you'll look back and understand why it had to happen the way it did. You'll realize that the pain had purpose, the losses had lessons, and the struggle had meaning. It all connects. It all builds. It all prepared. And when that moment comes, when you finally rise from the struggle stronger, wiser, unbreakable, you'll understand that success was never about avoiding pain. It was about enduring it, learning from it, and learning from it, and letting it mold you into someone capable of carrying the weight of your destiny. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and once it's gone, you can't get it back. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose opportunities and create new ones. But when you lose time, it's gone forever. The tragedy is that most people act like they have forever. They waste their days scrolling, complaining, hesitating, and wishing instead of acting, building, learning, and doing. They keep saying someday, not realizing that someday is an illusion. It never comes. The truth is, the only time you ever have is now. And if you don't start using it intentionally, you'll wake up one day and realize that your dreams didn't die because you weren't capable. They died. You kept waiting for the perfect time that never arrived. Time doesn't slow down for anyone. It doesn't care if you're tired, scared, or unprepared. It keeps moving whether you're chasing your goals or wasting your life. Every second that passes is a second you'll never get back. That's why you have to stop treating time like it's unlimited. You have to wake up every morning and understand that this day, this 24 hours, is your shot to move one step closer to your dream. You can't afford to keep putting it off. You can't afford to let distractions, excuses, or fear rob you of your purpose. Because while you're hesitating, someone else is hustling. While you're sleeping on your potential, someone else is awake turning theirs into reality. If you really want to change your life, you have to start respecting your time. You have to protect it like it's sacred, as it is. Don't give your time to people who don't value it. Don't waste hours on things that don't serve your purpose. Don't spend your days reacting to life when you could be creating it. Your time is your life, or that time is your life. And how you spend it determines who you become. The way you use your minutes reveals your priorities. If your dream really matters, your schedule will reflect it. You can't say you want success and then waste your nights on distractions. You can't say you want growth and then spend all your free time being entertained instead of being educated. You can't say you want change and then keep doing the same things every day. Every person gets the same 24 hours. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is how they use them. Some people treat time like an investment. They use it to learn, grow, create, and move closer to their vision. Others treat time like a game. They waste it on gossip, laziness, and comfort. And then they wonder why they're stuck. The truth is, success isn't just about talent, luck, or opportunity. It's about time management. It's about how disciplined you are with your hours, how intentional you are with your focus, and how consistent you are with your actions. You can't keep saying, "I'll do it later," and expect your life to change. Later becomes never. You can't keep waiting for motivation. You have to move even when you don't feel like it. Because consistency beats motivation every time. Motivation fades, discipline lasts. Every day you wake up, you have a choice to use your time wisely or to waste it. And the thing about time is, it always tells the truth. You can tell everyone you're working on something, but time reveals what you've actually done. You can post about your goals, talk about your dreams, make all the plans in the world. But at the end of the day, your results show how you spend your time. Think about how much of your life you've already spent waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right opportunity. How many chances have passed because you were waiting to feel ready? The truth is, no one ever feels completely ready. Everyone starts scared, unsure, and unprepared. The difference is, the people who win in life start anyway. They stop waiting for perfect conditions and start creating progress. Because progress, even slow progress, is better than waiting for a perfect moment that never comes. You have to start asking yourself hard questions. How much of my time am I wasting? What am I really doing every day to move closer to my dream? Who am I giving my time to? And are they helping me grow or holding me back? If you track how you spend your time, you'll see exactly why you are where you are. Time doesn't lie. It exposes your habits, your focus, and your commitment. If you're serious about success, you have to become ruthless about how you use your time. Cut out the things that drain your energy, but don't move you forward. Replace them with things that push you, challenge you, and grow you. Every minute you spend worrying about the past is a minute stolen from your future. Every hour you waste doubting yourself is an hour you could have spent building yourself. You can't change yesterday, but you can transform tomorrow by how you use today. That's the power of time. It gives you a new chance every morning. The question is, what will you do with it? Will you keep repeating the same cycle, or will you finally break it? Time is also a mirror. It reflects your values. If you truly value growth, you'll make time to read, to learn, to improve. To learn, to improve. If you truly value your health, you'll make time to move your body and eat right. If you truly value your family, you'll make time to be present with them. The things you say are important should show up in your calendar, because if they don't, they're not really priorities. They're just wishes. The most successful people in the world don't have more time. They just make better use of it. They plan their days. They focus on what matters. They eliminate distraction. They understand that saying yes to one thing means saying a no to something else. They don't let busyness fool them. They aim for productivity, not activity. And that's the difference between motion and progress. You can be busy all day and still not move an inch towards your dream if your time isn't directed by purpose. You have to start treating your time like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day you waste is a day you'll never get back. Every day you delay your dream is another day you live unfulfilled. One day you'll run out of time, and that day might come sooner than you think. So why wait to live? Why wait to build? Why wait to become everything you're capable of being? The clock is ticking whether you act or not. Do something with the time you have right now. Time also demands sacrifice. You can't have everything at once. If you want to rise, you have to give up comfort. If you want to grow, you have to give up excuses. If you want to be great, you have to give up some of the things average people do every day. You can't watch hours of TV and expect to build a legacy. You can't spend every weekend partying and expect to create impact. You can't waste your morning sleeping and expect to stand out in a world that's grinding while you rest. Greatness is built in the hours no one sees. Early mornings, late nights, quiet work. That's where transformation happens. People talk about work-life balance, but the truth is, sometimes you have to go out of balance temporarily to build the life you want permanent. You might have to miss out on fun now to have freedom later. You might have to work extra hard now so that you never have to beg for opportunities later. Time doesn't reward comfort. They could have quit. They could have wasted it, but they did. They decided that their future was worth more than temporary comfort. That's the mindset you need, one that values long-term gain over short-term pleasure. When you start valuing time, everything changes. You stop wasting it on drama. You stop letting toxic people drain you. You stop procrastinating because you realize that tomorrow isn't promised. You start moving differently, with urgency, with focus, with purpose. You start saying a no more often because you know that every just costs time. You start prioritizing your peace because you understand that time spent angry or bitter is time you'll never get back. And when you truly start mastering time, you begin mastering your life. You start creating instead of reacting. You start living on purpose instead of by accident. You start aligning your time with your goals, your habits with your dreams, your actions with your words. That's when everything begins to change. Not because time gave you more hours, but because you gave your hours more meaning. So stop waiting. Stop wasting. Stop saying I'll start next week. Start now. Start today. Start where you are with what you have. The moment you decide to respect your time is the moment your life starts to transform. Because success isn't built in one big moment. It's built in the small, consistent moments you use wisely every single day. One day you'll look back at your life and realize that time was the real currency. You'll either feel proud of how you spent it, or you'll feel regret for how you wasted it. Make sure that when that day comes, you can say, I used my time well. I didn't wait for the right moment. I made this moment right. Because in the end, time is the great equalizer. Everyone gets the same amount, but only the disciplined, the focused, and the relentless will use it to build a legacy that lasts long after the clock stops ticking. The final step to truly seizing your moment is to never stop believing in yourself, no matter what comes your way. Life will test you in every possible way. It will challenge your faith, shake your confidence, and push you to your breaking point. But the people who make it, the ones who rise from nothing and create greatness, are not always the most talented, the most educated, or the most privileged. They are the ones who simply refuse to give up on themselves. Belief is the foundation that holds everything together when the world tries to tear you apart. It's the quiet voice inside that says, I can do this, even when everything around you screams. You can. There will be days when your effort doesn't seem to pay off. You'll give everything you've got, and still, the results won't come fast enough. You feel unseen, unappreciated, and maybe even forgotten. But that's the moment when belief matters most. Because belief isn't tested when things are easy. It's tested when everything feels impossible. When your plans fall apart, when people doubt you, when the outcome looks bleak, that's when your inner strength has to step up. You have to look at the storm and remind yourself that you've already survived worse. You've already overcome things people don't even know about. You didn't come this far to quit now. Believing in yourself isn't arrogance. It's alignment with your potential. It's choosing to trust the greatness within you, even before you see the results. You have to understand that everything you're going through is preparing you for what you prayed for. The pain, the pressure, the failures, they're not there to break you. They're there to build you. Every struggle you face is shaping you into the person you need to be to handle what's coming next. When you doubt yourself, you're not seeing the full picture. You're judging your story in the middle of the chapter, not realizing that the ending will make sense of everything you've been through. Eric Thomas often says, don't cry to quit, cry to keep going. That means your tears don't mean weakness. They mean you care deeply. They mean you're still in the fight. And when you keep going, even when you're tired, that's belief. When you show up, even when you're scared, that's belief. When you keep working on your dream, even after 100 rejections, that's belief. It's easy to believe in yourself when things are going right. Anybody can do that. But real strength is believing when you have no evidence that things will work out, yet you move forward anyway. Your belief system shapes your reality. If you constantly tell yourself you can't, you'll never take the steps that prove you can. But if you decide that no matter what happens, you're going to find a way, you'll start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You'll start taking risks that lead to breakthroughs. You'll start walking with a different energy, one that says, belong here. I deserve this. I'm capable of more. That energy attracts success because it comes from a place of purpose and persistence. Most people fail not because they lack potential, but because they lack belief. They give up too soon. They let fear talk them out of their own destiny. They let the opinions of others become louder than the voice inside telling them to keep going. The world is full of dreamers who never became doers because they stopped believing when it got hard. But you can't let that be you. You have to decide that no matter what anyone says, you will keep believing in your vision. Even if they laugh, even if they doubt, even if you're the only one who sees it. Because at the end of the day, your dream was given to you, not them. They don't have to believe in it. You do. When you believe in yourself, you stop needing validation from others. You stop waiting for people to approve of your path. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's. You start focusing on becoming the best version of you. And that's where real confidence comes from. Not from likes, followers, or applause, but from knowing that you're doing what you're meant to do. Confidence is built through action. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust in your own ability. Every time you overcome something you thought you couldn't, you add another brick to your foundation of belief. And one day you'll look back and realize that you built an unshakable faith in yourself, one that no obstacle can destroy. Belief also requires patience. You have to be willing to keep going even when results are slow. Success doesn't happen overnight, and sometimes it feels like nothing's working. But that's not the truth. It's just that progress often hides behind consistency. The seeds you plant today don't bloom tomorrow. They take time, nurturing, and persistence. It persists. You have to believe that your time is coming, even when it feels like everyone else is winning but you. Don't rush your process. Don't compare your timeline. Everyone's path is different, and what's meant for you will find you if you keep showing up. There will also be people who don't believe in you. They'll tell you your dream is unrealistic, that you're wasting your time, that you should be more practical. But you can't let other people's fear become your truth. Most people project their own limitations onto others. When they say it can't be done, what they really mean is that they can't do it. Not you. Your job isn't to convince them. Your job is to prove to yourself that you can. Let their doubt fuel your fire, not your fear. Let their disbelief remind you why you started. Because when you finally succeed, they'll see what belief looks like in action. The most powerful thing you can do is believe even when you're broken. Believe even when your heart hurts. Believe even when you fail more times than you can count. Because belief is what gives you the strength to get back up. Belief is what allows you to try again when logic says quit. Belief is what transforms pain into purpose. When you choose to believe, you're not ignoring reality. You're deciding that your faith is stronger than your fear. And belief isn't just mental, it's spiritual. It's an understanding that you were created for a reason, that your life has purpose, and that every single thing you've been through was preparation. You're not here by accident. You survived things that could have destroyed you, and yet you're still standing. That means you have more inside you than you realize. You're stronger than you think. And sometimes life has to strip away your comfort to show you what you're truly capable of. That's what belief does. It pushes you to grow beyond who you were into who you're meant to become. You have to see yourself as worthy, worthy of success, worthy of happiness, worthy of love, worthy of the dream. Too many people self-sabotage because deep down, they don't believe they deserve better. But you can't rise higher than your own belief in yourself. If you think small, you'll live small. If you think you're not good enough, you'll settle for less than you deserve. But when you start believing that you're capable, valuable, and chosen for greatness, you'll start acting differently. You'll carry yourself with purpose. You'll move with confidence. You'll take bolder steps. No one can do the believing for you. You can have mentors, friends, and supporters. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one to keep the flame burning inside. You have to be the one who says, I'm not done yet. Because there will come moments when no one's cheering for you. When it feels like the world's against you. When everything goes silent. And that's when your belief has to speak loudest. You have to remind yourself who you are and why you started. When you live with belief, you become unstoppable. You stop being controlled by fear. Because you understand that failure isn't final. It's feedback. You stop being limited by doubt because you realize that confidence comes from doing, not waiting. You stop being discouraged by setbacks because you know there's setups for comebacks. You stop chasing validation because you already know your worth. You walk differently. You talk differently. You think differently. You operate with conviction, not confusion. And here's the truth. Belief creates momentum. Once you start believing, you start acting. Once you start acting, you start progressing. Once you start progressing, you start achieving. And once you start achieving, your belief grows even stronger. It's a cycle that builds success from the inside out. But it all starts with one decision. The decision to believe in yourself, even when it's hard. So if you're reading this, remind yourself, this is your moment. You've waited long enough. You've doubted long enough. You've played small long enough. It's time to step into your greatness. No more hesitating. No more questioning whether you're enough. You are enough. You've always been enough. You just have to believe it. Because when you finally believe in yourself, fully, deeply, unapologetically, the world has no choice but to believe in you too. You're not too late. You're not too far behind. You're right on time. Every lesson, every failure, every heartbreak was preparing you for this very moment. You just have to claim it with faith and courage. Keep going. Keep believing. Because the moment you refuse to give up on yourself, the universe has no choice but to move in your favor. This is your time. This is your story. This is your moment. And belief is what will carry you all the way through. When it all comes down to it, life is about moments. Moments that define who we are. Moments that test what we believe. Moments that reveal what we're truly made of. This is your moment isn't just a title or a phrase to repeat. It's a call to action. It's a reminder that right now in this very breath, you have a choice. You can either keep living the same story you've been telling yourself, the one filled with excuses, fear, and hesitation, or you can take the pen and start rewriting your life. Every second that passes is a chance to make a new decision, to take a new step, to move in a new direction. You don't need anyone's permission to change. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need all the answers. You just need to decide that you're done waiting, that you're done holding back, that you're ready to claim what's yours. Because the truth is, your life doesn't change in a year or a month. It changes in a moment, the moment you decide to rise. That moment when you say, I've had enough of being average. I've had enough of living small. I've had enough of settling for less than I'm capable of. That decision's where transformation began. Most people never reach their potential because they keep waiting for something outside of them to change. The job, the relationship, the opportunity. But the real change starts within. You have to become the kind of person who's ready for the things you want. You have to become the person who doesn't just talk about dreams, but works for them, sacrifices for them, bleeds for them if necessary. And yes, it's going to be hard. Every dream worth chasing comes with a price. You'll lose sleep, you'll face rejection, you'll experience failure. You'll question yourself, you'll doubt the path, and sometimes you'll want to quit. But that's the process. Every champion you admire has walked through darkness before they saw light. They've all faced moments when it would have been easier to give up, but they didn't. Why? Because they understood something most people don't. That pain is temporary, but regret lasts forever. You can either suffer the pain of discipline now or the pain of disappointment later. One builds you, the other breaks you. The choice is always yours. The real battle isn't out there. It's inside you. It's the voice in your head that says, oh, you can't do this. It's the fear that whispers, you're not good enough. It's the comfort zone that convinces you you've done enough, but deep down, you know you haven't given your all yet. You know there's more in you. You know there's a level of greatness waiting to be unlocked. And you can't access that level by staying safe. You can't grow in comfort. Growth demands discomfort. It demands pressure. It demands that you step into spaces that make you uncomfortable, because that's where strength is built. You have to stop playing small just to make other people comfortable. Stop shrinking yourself to fit into places you've outgrown. Stop apologizing for wanting more out of life. You were not created to blend in. You were created to stand out. You were not made to survive. You were made to thrive. There's a reason the dream inside you won't go away. It's calling you to become who you were meant to be. You owe it to yourself to see how far you can go. You owe it to the people who believed in you, who sacrificed for you, who prayed for you. But most importantly, you owe it to the little version of you who once dreamed without limits. That child still lives in you, waiting for you to believe again, to try again, to rise again. Every moment of doubt, every setback, every heartbreak was preparing you for this point. The failures you faced were not signs that you're unworthy. They were lessons in disguise. They were shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and building your resilience. Life has a way of breaking you before it blesses you, testing you before it trusts you. And if you're in that test right now, hold on. Don't give up. Because every storm eventually runs out of rain. Every dark night eventually turns to dawn. You just have to keep moving long enough to see the sunrise. You have everything you need inside you right now, the talent, the strength, the heart. It's all there. You just have to tap into it. Stop looking outside for what can only be found within. No one can save you. No one can want it more than no one can put in the hours, the effort, the sacrifice. That's all on you. But that's also the beauty of it, because that means you're in control. You have the power to change your story at any time. You have the ability to turn pain into power, fear into fuel, doubt into determination. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is that you start. Don't let your past define you. Don't let your mistakes label you. Don't let what went wrong convince you that you're not capable of what can go right. Every great comeback begins with a single step, and that step is made possible by faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your journey, faith that what you're going through now will make sense someday. You have to trust that even when you can't see the full picture, the pieces are falling into place. There's a version of you waiting on the other side of fear. Stronger, wiser, unstoppable. But you'll never meet that version if you keep standing still. You have to move even when it hurts. You have to believe, even when it doesn't make sense. You have to keep going, even when no one's watching. Because that's what separates the successful from the average. The willingness to persist when others quit. One day, you're going to look back on this chapter of your life and realize it was the turning point. The moment when you stopped making excuses and started making moves. The moment when you stopped talking about change and started becoming the change. I didn't waste my moment because that's all that truly matters. Not the money, not the fame, not the recognition, but the knowledge that you used the time you were given to become everything you were meant to be. This is your time. This is your opportunity. This is your moment, and it will never come again. So take it, own it, live it, and never ever let it slip away.